Yes, my name is Caritas Habimana. I am from Rwanda. 23 years ago, I survived the genocide of Rwanda. 1 million people died in just 100 days. Rwandan Hutus, majority, were killing Tutsis minority. I'm here, I'm grateful. April usually takes us back. I'm happy to be speaking today. I divided my story in 3 pieces: my happy life, my story, and then Colombia. I was born in a very big family. We were 13 children. I'm the 11th. My father was also a refugee in Congo. He came to Congo after the colonial power divided us, measuring our noses and our height, the only difference that makes us fight until now. My father was a doctor. He couldn't even find a job back home. He had his own cabinet. He raised us fine and beautifully. He gave us everything, even shoes on our feet. He was a good father. My mom gave us love. That's why I remember love, the real love. I even remember fighting with my brothers because we needed to know who she loved the most. She was a good mom. In 1981, my daddy died with a cancer. 1983, I finished my school and found a good job in the French embassy in Rwanda, back to Rwanda. Few years later, I got married. Few years, had beautiful 3 children. 1990, the refugees outside the country asked the president if they could come back home. The president said that there was no space for them. They decided to come fighting. Since 90 to 94, they were fighting, strongly fighting. The UN were present, and they were mediating these 2 parties. April 6, 1994, the president was coming from Arusha, Tanzania, from the peace treaty. His airplane got shut down. He died. That was it, the killing. That same night, they killed the prime minister, they killed the Hutus in opposition, they killed Tutsis, of course. I could hear the sounds of the guns, people screaming that night, April 7. All I could see were the airplanes leaving us, embassies being closed. They are leaving us in this chaos. There were no hope. April 9th. That morning, I was home, waiting to die because they were killing in my neighborhood. The militias were coming singing, kill them all, kill those cockroaches. I was so afraid. I was just waiting for my family and I to be killed. A cousin of my husband came running and told me that I was on the list, I was the next one. I was so devastated. He said that we had to go. I looked at him and I said, where are we going? We heard the radio of the militias saying that the Hutus that married the Tutsi have to die. The children from the mixed marriage has to die. The person that is hiding a Tutsi has to die. My marriage was mixed. Where am I going? Nobody could even hide me. He said, let's go through the back. I followed him, and we went through the back in the banana trees, which have big leaves where we could hide behind. But I didn't even see where we were going to get. He said, just follow me. We went to this big creek, very wide and deep. He said, you have to jump. I said, I can't jump. I don't even know how to jump. He said, look. He went back, came running, and jumped on the other side. He said, do it. I looked in that deep creek, and I saw the rocks, and I said, okay, it's better to die in these rocks instead of being cut by machetes. I went back, I came running, and I jumped. It wasn't me. The angels carried me because I didn't even think about what I was doing. I was on the other side. We continued. We went and got to the road. Now I could see a roadblock. The militias are there with machetes, with guns. They are waiting. I'm so afraid. On that roadblock, they said they were cutting heads. And I was like, this is my time, my last prayer. So we continued. As we were about to arrive to the roadblock, I saw this truck coming along. And these militias went to talk to the truck that was carrying the soldiers and all the militias. They were giving them guns, machetes, and drugs. I passed. We continued. Now I could see another roadblock coming up the hill. I start to pray. I'm passing through the bodies, the bloods. I even recognized my dentist with his family dead. I knew I was going to die. We continued until we arrived to the roadblock, and then that truck came along again. Same scenario. We passed. Now we were going to go through the houses to get to my hiding place. We arrived there. My mother-in-law saw me, and she was so surprised. She said, you are here, just get in the house. She put me in the back room. I sat there. She fed me as much as she could feed me. Meanwhile, they attacked my family. I don't even know where my children are. I don't know where my husband is. I don't know where anybody is. I stayed there. She fed me whatever she had until the end of May, where they were bombing the town. She was so afraid, and she said she had to go. I was so happy she was leaving because I was afraid she would die in my place. She decided I had to move and get out my hiding place. I was asking myself how I could go through these roadblocks again. I told her to go and find a friend of us, this man, a Congolese, so he can come and help me. I don't know where this idea came from. The man came. I told him what we need to do. I said, because we don't have the lights, all the lines are broken because of the bombing. It's dark at night, so we could go past these roadblocks speaking Lingala. He said, okay, he was so brave. We went together. Arrived to the first roadblock. They called us, and he started talking to them into this broken Kinyarwanda. I was asking what they were talking about in Lingala. They said, oh, let those Congolese go. We passed. We did the same thing for 3 roadblocks, and I arrived to another hiding place. This house was a house of the grandparents of my husband, but they died already. His sister lived there. She was gone also because they were bombing the town. The only person that was there was her maid, Fatuma. Fatuma puts me in this room and locks with a lock. She said, I'll be taking care of you. I stayed there with Fatuma, feeding me nothing, just a little dough of corn sometimes, dirty water sometimes, that I could drink and take care of myself. I'm a woman, imagine. We stayed together until beginning of June, when Kigali was being taken by the rebels Tutsi. People in South were moving toward us. Fatuma had a brother that was a militia. He came where we were. Now I'm staying with 20 militias in the house. Evening time, I will look in the crack of the window, and I will see them eating, talking about who they killed and how they killed. It was a torture. This time, I don't even know what to do. I lay down, I put my knees down. I'm afraid even to sneeze or cough. We stayed together until July 3rd, when somebody came banging on the window and saying, they are here, you have to go. So the rebels are packing, I can hear them packing their stuff. They left, even Fatuma left. I was in the house by myself until the morning, July 4th. I went and looked in the crack of the window again. I saw the rebels outside. How did I know? People were surrendering. I did the same. I surrendered and I got out. They took us to this big school, and we stayed there for 2 weeks. And then they said, you can go and find food. I went, where? To check if there was something I can hold on and cry. Got to my house was bombed. Went to see where my sister lived, the house was gone. Killed, they destroyed even the house. I went back. Luckily, I found one of my cousins. And then when they said, go home, we went together. I stayed with her. 2 weeks later, my sister came from Colombia to Rwanda. I couldn't even believe my eyes. She found me, luckily, because she saw somebody at the gas station that knew where I was. And how did she know I was there? The Congolese that took me to my second hiding place, I wrote a little note and I said, give this little note to my brother or sister in Congo. He did. My sister called my other sister here, and they found me. And then she took us to Kenya, into UN. They accepted us because she had a passport, an American passport. We stayed in Kenya. I started looking for my children. In September, I found my 7-year, 5-year, and 3 years old. They came and joined me in Kenya. Amen. In November, I was in Colombia, a beautiful place. It was November. It was around Thanksgiving. I remember. There were no leaves on the trees. I was so confused. But I loved Colombia. I stayed in Colombia. With my family, we cried, we mourned, we did everything we could do. But I felt like sitting in the corner and not even doing anything to rest. I wanted to rest. Could I even rest? I had to learn the language. That was number one on the list. I had to do something. I have children. We have to do something. We have to work, find a job. Cleaning job, yes, I had to work. It was so hard. Nobody could read your mind. I didn't even understand where I was. But life had to go on. I got stronger and stronger. 2007, I had a job in the daycare. I worked there 6 years. I was going up the street on Ash Street. I see these people carrying loads on their heads. I looked and I said, this is my people. I went and talked to them. It happened that we speak the same language. I speak 6 languages, which makes me connect with a lot of people. So I gave some of them a ride home. They didn't even know how to store the food. They didn't know. Some of them were thanking God for a switch on the wall because they can see the light. They didn't know how to use a wrench. I looked at them and I said, he fed me like a bird. I quit my job. I had to go and help these people. They were losing their food stamp because they don't even know how to read. At least I used a dictionary. They didn't have anything. I couldn't even see how they would make it in this country. I dedicated myself to them. Now, I have phone calls from schools, hospital, even from themselves, asking myself why they got the tip. I have to explain. It's the money they gave you because you did a good job. Those kind of calls. They are my family, they are my friends. We pray together. They are here. I have something I have to leave with you. They are among us. I want you to recognize them. Not only you will change their lives, they will change your lives too. They are good citizens. Thank you.